podcast number 2 with Gibson.
Hello.
Right, today we're going to be talking about Brambles, my lovely sheep, and how I got her. We'll also be talking about TV series, specifically The Witcher, and just how it's
Just The Witcher in general.
Witcher in general. And then we'll be talking about lockdown, the joys of lockdown, and how me and Gibson are coping. And what we're doing to keep ourselves active and stuff. Anyway, right, so story time with Josh.
Here we go.
This is how I got my lovely orange tan-like sheep, Suffolk sheep, Brambles. So years ago, actually not years ago, it was like 2 years ago, I got three. My dad asked for ducks, and he asked for 3 ducks, and they're pretty easy to get. Just went to our local, well, not local, but we went to a local-ish farm and got some ducks. They cost about $5 each, and they were great. The breed of duck, I cannot remember. That's just how much I care about the ducks, but yeah. But all
Duck's
I know
a duck.
is, a duck's a duck, pretty much. A duck's a duck, and something special with this duck is that it can't fly. It's part of it's due to the fact that it's too fat that it can't fly, and also it just can't be arsed, really. We give it food, we give it land, so it's happy. Can't be arsed flying everywhere, all over the globe to get food, really.
So it's a pretty lazy duck.
Pretty lazy duck. One of them's called, I call it Gibson, because it wanders on its own, it does its own thing, and doesn't really care about, it does care about the rest, but just kind of just does its own thing, and yeah.
It's aloof, like
It's
myself.
aloof. Yeah, chooses his own path and gets lost, and yeah, very, very high maintenance to deal with as for a duck. Yeah, and once we got the ducks, my dad then decided I'll go one better. And Gibson, what would you say one better is than a duck?
Than a duck?
Yeah, what's bigger than a duck?
If it has to be bigger than a duck, but it has to be a farm animal.
Well, any animal, like.
Well, dog is always better.
Yeah, a dog.
Because your ducks, you're not farming them; they're a pet for you.
Yeah. They're a little bit more high maintenance, but they're So, but no, we got ourselves some sheep instead because he just thought, let's be different. and he specifically wanted 3. Well, he specifically wanted 3 different breeds of sheep. And we went through all the breeds of sheep, and he says, I want that one, and that one. Like a kid in a candy store. And I looked at them and I went, and the weirdest sheep, I hadn't ever in my whole life of living in the middle of nowhere have I ever seen some of these sheep before. I've never even heard of these sheep before. But he managed to pick out the weirdest ones. One of them being a Valais sheep, which is pretty much a mix between a standard white fluffy sheep and a big Scottish Highland cow.
Highland coo.
Cool. And also another one which looked like, at the time when I saw it, I thought it's just an Essex sheep. I mean, it's pretty much just got an orange fake tan all over it, and it's black. Well, yeah, black. Anyway, so and that's the suffix. And then he thought to himself, going, I'll be a bit I'll be a bit normal and I'll just get a standard white sheep, which was fine. Lovely, lovely white sheep. Anyway, so when it came to sorting out and purchase of the sheep, which I thought was going to be a dawdle because the ducks were easy, so this was going to be easy. So I just turned around and went, you know what? Okay, Google Valais sheep, which was the first one because he liked it the most. And they said, "Oh, they're not stocked. People in central Scotland don't really sell Valais sheep. You have to go further afield, either down in England or some parts of Inverness." So I went, you know what? I'll just go up in Inverness, and that's a lot easier than having to go down in England. So I looked at what they had, and there was a sheep, and obviously I didn't want to go all the way up to Inverness because I had college, and I mean, who wants to go all the way up to Inverness to just see a sheep? So I just looked them online, and then there were ones they looked all right. However, and it said contact the sheep owner for more details, and that was fine. So I contacted them and I gave them a call and just said, "Great, seen the pictures, look lovely. How much are you asking for them? How much do you think?" And you've seen a picture of them, Gibson. How much do you think that sheep would have cost?
About 100 to 150.
150.
Because
Yeah,
it's
yeah, because it's a special sheep. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I did was I looked online, and actually, you know what? It cost £300 for this one sheep, and as you know, it cost £600 for the sheep. I remember, oh, it was a different one. Right, okay, £600 for this one sheep, and obviously, me on my own couldn't pay for it, and neither can my sisters. We can't all pay for this one £600 sheep, especially since it's all the way up in Inverness. So what we ended up doing was I ended up calling them and saying, right, okay, so so I then looked at other ones, and because that one looked alright, so I then looked a bit cheaper, and there was a weird looking Valais sheep which had bigger horns and was weirder the better because he was looking for a weird sheep, and he'd be fine for that. So I got the sheep, it was fine, and they were asking for about 250 for this one, and I went, okay, that's fine. And then
and then
I called a guy. I called the guy going, can you deliver it? The guy says, oh no, sorry, we don't deliver to Central Scotland. You'll have to pick it up yourself.
what bit in Scotland doesn't deliver to central Scotland?
Maybe they mostly, I don't know, they probably just operate in sort of northern Scotland region to farmers in that area, in Cairngorms area. I don't know. The guy kind of didn't want to drop it down to me, and I went, you know what, okay, a bit annoying, but
The idea is just absurd to me.
yeah, the idea of getting a ship and going along, it's mad, but he desperately wanted it. He was So I kind of thought, you know what, it'll be worth it, because maybe I'll get something in return next time it's my birthday or something like that. Maybe I get a dog. Anyway, so I then say to a nearby farmer who sold me the ducks, and we're friends with them, and what they ended up doing, saying, "Oh, no bother, I'll check my schedule and I'll go up and see what I can do, if I can go all the way up to Inverness. And I went, perfect. 2 weeks later, I get a call saying, oops, Josh, not able to do it. So I ended up hiring someone else who like sort of moved, like you hire like a guy with a trailer and he delivered them and he cost £50. So that's £300 already, and I'm going, right, okay, this is I don't know. Yeah, this is absurd. This is going to cost more, and I've only got one sheep. I've not got like the other two. And I was hoping to get them in pairs, but didn't realize they would be so expensive. So eventually, I said, right, okay. I said to the guy, the friend of mine who was going to go up, can you store the sheep? He says, yeah, there's no bother. So he stores the sheep, and that's fine. And then says, right, okay. So, however, it was looking poorly, and I wanted to, it wasn't looking great. But so what I decided to do was I looked online and stuff, and the guy suggested to come on and do I'll go to an auction and see if I can get a Suffolk sheep. Now, for someone who's never been to an auction and has only watched like being bored in lockdown, I maybe once watched Antiques Roadshow because I was that bored. But I thought it'd be similar to that and just a bunch of people shouting and asking numbers. But anyway, so I get there and I'm standing there looking at all these sheep and going, these are weird sheep. Maybe not as weird as the Highland cow sheep, but they're weird sheep. Yeah. And there was ones that were all done up, all fancy like they were going on to, I don't know, they were just going up for auction and they were all looking all pretty, and someone had put more dye in their fur to make them even more orange. And I mean, I just went, okay, this is this is a bit too far. Okay, so and then there was other ones which obviously they were just like, it's a sheep, and then they just kind of left it just to get sold and didn't do anything nice to it. So which I kind of thought was okay. So I went to the auction. I went and they were auctioned off, going fine, right,
Yeah, as they
and
do in these
animal things, and
auctions.
yeah, and yeah. They do. They didn't like crush them all into like tiny little cages and force them round. They had space and stuff. It was great. It wasn't like a, you know what I mean? Like yes, they had space and stuff, so it was okay. And and there was different breeds of sheep on sale. So and Suffolk's was last, and it took them ages. And I saw a Talix, a Texel. I saw a normal white sheep. I saw black sheep. I saw all these different types of sheep, and then all it came to my last came to the Suffolk one, and I had picked two that I really liked, and I went, you know what, it'll be fine. And these sheep were going for some sheep were going for about £20. Some were going for about 1.5 grand, and I was literally standing there going, "This is weird." Okay, who's spending 1.5 grand on one sheep, and for the same breed of sheep, another guy is paying £20. This is weird. Okay, right, I didn't realize price ranges went that far for just a sheep. Anyway,
They go pretty damn far.
yeah, they go, yeah. And I was told that was due to because I went into Stirling to the auction site in Stirling, and that I was told that that's pretty good because like you can go to more fancier auction sites like down in England where they can go for as much as 5k. Going, okay, right. I'm note to self, not don't go down to England for sheep. Very flippin' scary. Yeah, and occasionally through the auction, I just decided to muck about and go, I'll auction this. I'll put my hand up, and it's really addicting. I mean, I know it's sheep and everything, but like putting your hand up and going up and raising it. And even though I didn't get any of the sheep, I just was just putting my hand up for cheap stuff, which looked good, and I never got any. But then it came to the Suffolk ones. Oh, they were my one walked in, and it walked in with a limp. And see the moment it walked with that little walk, and you've seen the walk, Gibbs, and you know what it's like. I just thought to myself, jackpot. Sheep is going to be worth £5 minimum, and I'm going to be sorted. The sheep is.
It should be noted this sheep walks with.
Yeah.
Its
Oh,
walk
yeah.
is adorable because it's so large. It struggles to walk.
Yeah, and it was pregnant with two, so it just made the walk even harder because it just going. It was just walking such weird. And so anyway, so I get the sheep. So the sheep comes and and no one's auctioning, no one's saying anything, and the guy deliberately, because the guy who's auctioning it off, the person who owns the sheep, sets a bar for where the bid must start, and he started the bid at 200, and I went, oh for fuck. Right, and I'm sitting there going, well, I have to bid for this because if that other one dies, I'm out of a sheep, and I don't have a sheep. I've just wasted £200 and umpteen amounts on sheep, and I haven't got any. So I decided to bid. I bid once, and I was sitting there making sure no one bids, no. And I looked at this old grandma who was just going to bid, and I was just sitting there going, if you dare bid, and I gave her the evil eyes going, don't you dare, this is my sheep. I will fight you for this. And then all of a sudden, I went out, sold, and it was sold, and I bought it for 290, and they've got their own farm currency. So the guy said 300, and I can't remember what the name of it was, but I just remembered 300. It cost 300, and then I think there was like farm tax or something like that. So it then cost £215, which I kind of thought could have just said 300 and then that'd be that. But anyway, so I got the sheep, and I was sitting there going, great. And then on the way back, because I went with a friend to the guy who I went with the friend with to the auction, said on the way back with the sheep, turned around and said, right, you might as well just sell that one, and then that'll be sell the one that you got, and then you could just stick with that one. Maybe look for a white one if there's one going for about a fiver, but you've just spent £315 on this one sheep, so I wouldn't be going looking that much, you know?
Yeah.
So I then managed to sell the Valais sheep to the guy who was taking care of it, and he was willing to pay for the same amount that I was got for. So 250, was it? Yeah, 250. And then sold for that, made it even. So all I paid was £315, which I then which I then paid with my two sisters, and then that was that. I then looked for a white sheep, and those white sheep that you see just in the farm, like, you know how there's like hundreds and hundreds of sheep?
Yeah, the traditional.
Yeah. They're not cheap.
How? Well, I suppose that kind of makes sense because they are the most popular for a reason.
Yeah. They cost, well, I mean, they're cheaper than the odd ones that I always, but they're not. They cost about 120. And I just went, no, they probably just breed them all. And I sat there going, you know what? I've got a Suffolk sheep. It's pregnant with two, and that'll be me sorted. And I was happy as Larry, and then skip over to Christmas, New Year's time, um, New Year's time, early January, and I was then waiting for my sheep was giving birth with all two of its babies. I was like a father. I was over the moon. I was at college at the time, thinking, going, "This is fine. This is great." I was warned that there was a high chance, there was a probability that they weren't going to make it, but I was being ignorant and just ignored that and thought, "I'm a father of two."
Father.
Yeah,
Sheep daddy.
sheep daddy. Yeah, forget Tiger King and the sheep.
Let's not make that last.
Anyway, so I then get the sheep. So and the sheep's giving birth, and all of a sudden I got a message on the phone going, right, well, the first one's not made it. I'm going, oh, 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 okay, and then that hit me. I went, that didn't go as well as I hoped, but. And I said, but the other one's fine. The other one looks fine. So just, and the mother seems fine. I went, right. As long as Brambles is okay, Brambles the big sheep, that's me happy. And I was yet to come up with a name for the little one. Couldn't use Gibble, so maybe
A duck.
yeah. So so I then waited, and a couple of weeks passed, and I got a call saying it wasn't looking good, and I went, "Oh, not the other one." I went, "Yeah, well, we're gonna have to put it out of its misery." I went, "That's fine. Put that. Well, it's not fine. I mean, it was, yeah." So I lost that sheep. I lost both lambs. But at least Brambles was okay. She had been given medication and stuff. And she, due to the fact that she needed to take care of, because she had milk and stuff in her, so she needed to take care of another lamb. So the guy who was taking care of the sheep at the time, he had a lamb, and they were taking care of one another, and that was fine. So 1 out of 3 isn't bad. Okay, at least I've got one.
Yeah. They did warn you that
Yeah, yeah, I was warned. So
it would be a high possibility.
so I then wait a couple of months just before lock, and this is where I get pissed off, because just before it goes to lockdown, bang, the lamb that was taken care of had passed away, and the lamb was due to come over to my dad's farm, my dad's land, and he was amazed. It was because he was happy with the lamb. He hadn't seen it, and he was just buzzing to. He was aware that he was going to get a sheep. He's seen pictures of it, and it was just buzzing for it. Here comes lockdown, and the guy refused, and the guy was unable to move the sheep because it wasn't. He was too busy doing work and supplies for his farm, and so I was unable to move it. So I was sitting there going, okay, so all through lockdown, I've got no sheep. I went, yeah, so that's not great, but at least he's healthy.
Yeah. At least you got one. Well, so yeah.
So, and then he's now told me that he wants. So I've got to that. He's going to get. I've refused. I've refused because it was such a mind-altering, annoying pain to organize it all and to move it all about and to move the sheep and stuff. I just literally, it's a pain in the arse, and the cost of everything, and I would not want to do it again, especially with money. So I just went, you know what? my dad's he can get the Highland cow one and be all sorted,
He
and
can deal with the other animals.
yeah, he can deal with that. And then he says to me, going, "Can you get me a cow?" Going, "No,
No.
I'm not getting you a cow. No, no. You can get yourself a cow. You can get yourself a Highland cow. You can get yourself a zoo. Just.
Got
I'll keep brown. I've got Brambles. Brambles is technically yours, but it's cost me a lot of time and energy and money.
to be fair, it's been you who's been taking care of it, though, hasn't it?
Yeah, I've visited it a lot and just checked up on it, and yeah, because obviously the guy who's friends doesn't want to just look after someone else's sheep. So yeah. So anyway, I've got the land all sorted for when she does come, so that's fine. Yeah. Right. On to the next stage of the podcast. The Witcher.
The Witcher.
Yes. Right, so Gibson, you are probably you're one of the not hardcore, but you're more of the hardcore Witcher
out of the
fans.
people you know, I'm
Yeah,
the
yeah,
biggest fan of The
yeah,
Witcher.
yeah.
I played The Witcher 3, which
Mhm,
is The Wild Hunt,
mhm,
and I have been reading through the books, well, listening to audiobooks of the books, and it's certainly been interesting. The Witcher has got mainly this big popular phase because of Netflix.
yeah. And the TV series.
Yeah, but in my opinion, I believe it'll probably be more popular than Game of Thrones eventually.
Oh,
Eventually.
I mean, it'll be better than the last season. Sorry.
Well, yeah. And because the books are finished, it'll probably have a better ending as well.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, because I mean, I mean, it doesn't have like dragons in it, but yeah, it's certainly, and it has done. It sort of like continues on, not in the literal sense, but it sort of continues on for people to watch after Game of Thrones, and it does.
It gives this similar feeling to Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
But The Witcher books were written before Game of Thrones, before anyone starts thinking.
yeah, yeah. It's not. They didn't originally just make it up because of Game of Thrones. It was originally a whole different storyline beforehand.
For me, the real reason that I got into Game of Thrones was because it was a lot like The Witcher.
Yeah. No, but yeah, the Game of Thrones was great. It had all these different plots and stuff, and just like The Witch, because there's different parts, and all of them come together at some point, and yeah, and I think that this whole new development of this new development of TV series like The Witcher and stuff is great because it just like because obviously like there's this whole big debate with which is better, TV series or a movie or television and streaming services, but I think that bringing these like proper TV series like Game of Thrones, and it just sort of like it just shows that how like yeah
stands out.
it stands out, and it just shows where we're actually going. It's not just like it just takes a lot of care and effort. I mean, like Breaking Bad, which was one of the ones that started this whole well, was one of the ones that started this whole trend
Yeah,
of TV series
it started
and
a big craze.
yeah, and the critics at the time couldn't stand it. However, due to public demand, it just continued, and even past the ending of Breaking Bad, it was able to continue through Better Call Saul. And I think, because I mean, didn't you hear right? I heard the Game of Thrones, they're gonna start a new series, but was it like the prequel to Game of Thrones? Like before Game of Thrones, like what was it?
Before Game of Thrones became,
No, like before, like
oh right, story wise.
story wise, yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah. There's been talk about that for sure.
yeah,
But
um, yeah. Obviously with lockdown and stuff, but yeah,
I'm not sure how popular it will be.
yeah, because it sort of took a very negative dip at the end with the bad series, but it's very difficult to continue on doing so many series and just sort of like keeping it interesting and stuff. Like, obviously The Witch is just starting, so it's picking up pace and picking up people's interest. But it's good to see that because like with Breaking Bad and what else what other TV series was there?
What, popular ones, you mean?
Yeah, popular ones. You know, like
Well, Breaking Bad, The Walking Dead.
yeah, The Walking Dead. I mean, The Walking Dead right there. That I mean, towards the end now, it's just the same plot line. I mean, it's just you're rewatching the same thing, just only slightly different.
I never got into either into Breaking Bad or The Walking Dead.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I watched it. I watched Breaking Bad, and I watched a bit of Walking Dead, but I wasn't able to get into it because it was just so. It's I just never managed to get into it all. It's not that it doesn't interest me that much. Zombie apocalypse and stuff. I think.
It's overdone.
Yeah,
There's like so many games about it. There's very similar shows
yeah, because
that have
people have
come.
copied it and stuff, and it's done what it can do, and I think they should just stop and just because they did a whole prequel with the fear of the Walking Dead and how it all began and stuff, and you just go, they should have just left it with the Walking Dead.
It just feels like it's constantly being redone.
Yeah. But like for Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, it's just continuing in whose storyline, and it's not like the whole um full same storyline. But anyway, so yeah, The Witcher shows promise, and hopefully it'll not fall in the same trap of just doing the same thing of doing the same season each season each time they do a new season. It's just different each time. Um, but yeah, I mean the other issue is because other than watching like dramas and stuff, do you watch? I know you watch. Well, I watch Rick and Morty and stuff.
I do watch Rick and Morty when I can,
Yeah,
but
it's
the most recent season is acting very slowly.
yeah. I mean that's the other thing because you sort of it's one of those things where Rick and Morty they've pushed the boundaries with comedy. They've done all these weird stuff that it's really hard to get your head around in some parts, and it's just weird and wacky, and it's great. However, there is no limit. So, but like you can't.
It feels like it's been with Rick and Morty. It feels like it's been longer than than they actually intended it to.
Yeah, yeah. It seems like a
Like,
wee spin-off.
they realized how popular it could be, and now they're
Mm-hmm.
trying to drag it out.
Mm-hmm.
It seems.
Yeah, they couldn't just stop it now and then do a different season series, just completely different. But which that would be great. So yeah. But like I mean, but like that it does because it does like it's not like a soap or something like that where I mean I can't stand soap TV like Emmerdale EastEnders where it's just same thing going on over and over again and oh Deirdre's killed Patrick. Oh, what will ever happen?
Somehow it's always the same, the
Yeah.
same name with you.
Oh, I just like the name Deirdre. Anyway, so but yeah, I mean they need to freshen it and not just do the same thing. It makes you worry because like Brooklyn Nine-Nine when it was cancelled, part of me kind of wished it was cancelled because then they could do a whole new series moving on from that. But they've got the problem of going. It's the same content, and it's just like oh they're in a police precinct. Oh, but I mean it's still funny. I mean I'm not saying it's dull, but it's going to be very difficult for them to stay at the level they're at without
Really?
bringing on because I mean they're going to have to bring on because it's the same people, the same cast that was on from the start. Only I think one person has left from the first series, but I think they need to just liven up a bit. I suppose there is the argument going, who would want to watch a fully length? Like, I mean, it's very hard to watch like a whole hour's worth, 2 hours worth of back-to-back episodes of binge watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine and all these comedy shows, but it's very easy to binge watch the Game of Thrones, The Witcher, and all these other TV series.
Well, I want. There's multiple things I would love to talk about The Witcher, but you've not played the games and you haven't read the books, and I believe many people like you would be in the same boat who may listen to this.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to spoil things.
Oh, so there's things that are in the games and the comics
Well,
and stuff that you think that are going to be in.
The idea of the games is that the books go to a certain point, and then the games take over from that. So it carries on from where the books left off. So, in my opinion, I would really want if the series goes that far, I think I would want them to go into the games a little.
Mm-hmm.
It might not do as well once they go into that stage because then you're creating a series from a video game, not from the books. But I think they might be able to pull it off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Also, I believe Josh will be editing this, so through the whilst we're talking about The Witcher, he would have been putting up some videos of The Witcher.
Yes, I will.
Yes. I had issues when it was me who was recording the gameplay and making the gameplay. So with this being shown, not everything in the game and all the really good places to get visual scenes is shown, mainly because I had to start from the beginning. So there's places which I think would have looked great whilst we were talking about it, like Novigrad and Skellige, and places in these regions in the video game which I think would look really good for what would be shown. But I'm hopefully, if Josh is going to put up photos and images of different things, maybe he could find something of Novigrad. Maybe.
Yeah, I'll do that. So yeah, because I mean, The Witcher. It's been a good season and a good opening. The fact that they didn't just copy the game and just do exactly the same as it, they've sort of given it a fresh look, and they've added Henry Saville to it, which has opened it all to a whole new range of fans and stuff, and I think that's great. I think the fact that they've now opened a whole new range of fans with having Henry Saville and stuff. Yeah, I think having more people, having more mainstream famous celebs on it, just like they did with Game of Thrones, where they added Ed Sheeran and stuff to it.
Well, I don't know. I don't think you could. The guy playing Geralt, he's a very famous actor.
Yeah.
But yeah, Ed Sheeran was more of an extra thing which just threw in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
It wasn't a big thing. Game of Thrones gave a lot of people an opportunity.
Yeah, because it gave them a platform for like new actors to come across. Because like from season 1, you didn't know who any of the actors were. However, by season 5 and stuff, they were mainstream celebs who who grew onto more movies and stuff. Emily Clark became famous, and you got all those other ones. But it is a risk. I mean, because some of these TV series do bomb, and you're putting your whole career online when you go on the line when you just go and do these TV series, and your face may not be recognized, and people might not.
Sometimes, if the show does really badly, then you will be corresponded to it.
Yeah, and you're stuck with that link to the TV series which did so terribly. However, in some cases where you just got this, you're so well known that it doesn't matter what show you go to. It's just sort of like Nicolas Cage, where he's been in so many good movies like Con Air, and you probably don't know who he is, Gibson, but
I know who Nicolas Cage is.
Okay, that's good. Just checking. Didn't know who Liam Neeson was, but you know who Nicolas Cage is.
Nicolas Cage is everywhere.
Yeah, and Nicolas Cage and how he went from Con Air, and he did the Rock and stuff like that, and Face Swap, and now he's gone from he did all those great movies. However, gradually more and more his latest movies have just been a bit poor. And you've got Bruce Willis, who did the same thing. He went from Die Hard, and now he's doing a whole bunch of movies that are just, well, no, they're not unwatchable, but you probably no one's really going to watch them. They're just little ones that you see on Netflix and stuff. But yeah, but they're still able to continue their fame and stuff regardless of what they go into. But other less well-known ones just get stuck. But luckily, these new ones seem to be very popular, and it just opens a whole new opportunity. Ha 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 ha! Yes, a whole new one. Yeah. Anyway, so section 3. Lockdown. Yes, the joys of lockdown the virus. It's an interesting one. It's from a historical point of view, Gibson. How historical would you say this is?
I think it's not. To me, it's not one of these impacts which won't be known for being extraordinarily deadly, because there's certainly country destroying, and this will lower the economy. It will do a lot of stuff, and it will be remembered. But it's going to make I think a larger impact in the West than it will in the East, per se. And as a result, we might be facing another depression. So we are going to be living through a very historically rememberable point in time, I think. But I'm saying historical, it's a modern thing, but it will be remembered as probably a point of very thick history.
Yeah. I'm just trying to compare this event. I mean, obviously there was the Ebola epidemic. There was the...
Yes, but the Ebola epidemic didn't spread rapidly.
It wasn't a pandemic. It was just like it just went to this. It had these isolated events, and it wasn't easy. It wasn't as easy to spread.
No.
But it's and obviously lockdown as a result has led a lot of us bored and obviously watching a lot of TV and playing a lot of games like The Witcher and stuff, and I think I've gotten so bored that I've decided to paint my bathroom.
Why?
It was just wood colour, and I didn't like it. So you know what? I just went and took a paintbrush and some paint, painted it, and I'll show you a picture of what it's like in the video and stuff. But at the moment, it's a work in progress. I never thought I would ever touch a paintbrush since junior school, but I did so, and I'm proud of myself that I did it. At least I did something. I'm not just watching, like, binge watching TV and just sitting back and waiting for this pandemic to finish. I've also got like college work and stuff, which is just a pain, just off and on and stuff. It's not. Obviously, you got universities and stuff, and all over the globe, all over the UK, who have got work and stuff. Got it's the most annoying thing ever created by man, I believe, which is these calls that we have to go on to, these video chats, which is just annoying. Apologies guys, if you hear my dog. It just loves attention, and it just it's getting too much at the moment if I say, but yeah. Anyway, so if I'm not able to edit it. Right, okay, so I did my bathroom, which is a bit weird, and I did it, and it's painted white. It's gone from wood to white. It's gone just shown blue. It's just gone from your standard wood to, and then I painted it white, which is okay. And yeah, I felt like you doing some artsy stuff.
Except for I have to do artsy stuff because it's my college work.
Yeah. Gibson does, what's it called, Gibson?
Silversmithing.
silversmithing.
Jewelry design and silversmith.
Yeah. So get your jewelry from here. Anyway, yeah, so I've been doing that. Obviously, I've been going on walks. But you see, when I go on walks, just so many people walking about. Do you get that?
You know, well, to be honest, I do self-isolation very well because I don't really like going outside normally in the first place.
Yeah.
Um,
Even though you're an athlete, you're a former athlete.
yeah, okay.
Okay, yeah, okay. He was really good at hockey and really good at rugby at one point, and he had to give it all up for education.
For education.
Anyway,
I was talented at it, but I was not part of any clubs, and I was not scouted. I was not anything. I would have not been able to make a career out of it.
yeah, but you're not one of those typical.
I was not shabby, no.
No, you weren't like me who was only there just for the snacks, and then someone snitched on me.
Oh yes, that was a fun day. Would you like to tell a story?
I will tell you the story of the bar and Gibson and how he ruined what was meant to be the
best day of the year.
I'd bought 2 bars of chocolate, and they were big bars, and they were lovely and amazing, and I'd waited all day. I'd had a miserable day with exams and stuff and tests, and I just want, and it was hockey practice, and I stood there and I went, fine, great, got them. Did my hockey, and then there was extra hockey after it, so I then had the bar in between the hockey, and
You initially took out this bar to share with people.
Yeah, I took out this one bar to share with people, and then I had a decoy bar inside my bag, which I would have by myself.
Decoy.
Yeah, okay, so one to share with everyone because I'm a nice fella, and then one for me because I'm also I like to treat myself, okay?
Treat yourself.
So I had a bar in the back, and I was waiting, and then this little minute snitch who was who everyone at the time would have said he's a demon because he's so small and nimble and able to go underneath everyone and do so well at hockey, and then he just turned around to everyone and said, "Hey Josh, didn't I see another bar in your bag?" He shouted that, and then literally like that, like a pack of wolves, everyone surrounded me, getting at my bag, going, "Give me your flipping bar, okay? Give me your. I want chocolate." They're a bunch of children wanting candy, wanting candy at a candy store. So and then I was chased because I was so desperate just to enjoy that at the end of hockey, and I got chased around the whole of the hockey pitch, and I just went, you know what? And there was this bird who was absolute mental for the bar, and well, I'm a nice fella. I had to forcefully give it away, and this is all thanks to some snitch called Gibson.
Well, from my point of view...
Well, what was your point of view? He bought the bar for himself, and he should share it with everyone else.
Well, I didn't know you bought it for yourself. It should be noted that both these bars were big bars.
Yeah, I treat myself well.
that he even had the idea that these are chocolate bars you don't normally buy for yourself. And if you did, you should be judged for it. Kind of size.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Judging, which is
So
the 21st century's.
from my opinion, here's this guy who is nice enough to share his chocolate bars, and then once we reach out and everyone, he's gaining popularity. He needs to be risen higher to a higher.
So you were jealous.
What could I do to help?
was...
Wait, I don't need to help. He already has his second bribery in his back pocket.
And may I also point out that you have the ability. This is a unique ability, and everyone should be standing in amazement. You know how you get the 6 wonders of the world? You're the 7th, okay? You are able to drink non-alcoholic ginger beer. And literally, like 2 seconds, you become... I don't know whether it's just you put it on or something, but you literally become... Well, maybe not blackout drunk, but you become a bit tipsy.
I become reckless.
You become more reckless.
Tipsy is not correct.
You become reckless, and you then take one of your mates, who he may have then, when he was going to have the bar by himself, was going to give it to you if you waited just after hockey, but no, you became fucking annoying. Anyway, so that's the story of the 2 bars, and it is a feud that has lasted ages. It's lasted right through DAV, where it just was a nightmare dealing with Gibson. And
feud, I got a highlight.
We can talk about the DAV expedition, the right path, the wrong path, and the absolutely why the flip are we going into someone's field. Another podcast, but anyway, so back to the lockdown. So
for those who don't know what DAV is, which I don't think for the people normally listening, I would presume they probably know. DAV is an expedition based in the UK, which is just shortened to the Duke of Edinburgh. It's a Duke of Edinburgh award, which means that you need to do a few tasks and a large, and a camping expedition to get
Gibson there, the face of DAV.
I'm not the face of DAV.
Anyway, so lockdown. So we did we did that, and I just so I see all these people, and mostly elderly people, because they're more bored inside and stuff, so they're walking about and stuff, and obviously you've got the whole stay 2 meters apart, do all that, and so I'm a responsible person. I take upon myself in most scenarios to go around people and go on an opposite of path and stuff like that, but 9 times out of 10 people don't care, really. People just do their own thing. People just and they look at you in a weird way when you're not able to go around, because the fact that there's a flipping road, a flipping motorway right next to you, and you're not able to go. Anyway, so I go on walks and stuff, and I see all of these people, and I think that people are just doing it too much. I mean,
you think people are walking too much?
Yeah, because I mean, I'll look outside and I see this granny, and I literally, Deirdre, you spent 5 hours a day doing one walk, and you don't stop. Sometimes you probably go on stops all around Octard, but you just spend so much time outside, you're not doing any exercise, you're just being lazy, and you're just staying home like we're all told, and stop chatting to people when they've got a cute dog.
She's most at risk as well.
Yeah. She's a civilist, Deborah. She's not actually called Deborah, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah. What's that?
What, do you hear something?
I hear barking. You've got a dog.
It's the neighbour's dog, so there's not even anything I can do about.
Yeah. Okay. So people are walking too much, and you see, I think that the government should launch a new thing. Right, two things I think the government should do, and one of them is, and I think because I saw, and this might be false information, fake news and stuff. Just be warned, but I did see post saying that Russia was using lions.
Fake news.
It's Russia. Okay, I would typically say yes, fake news, but it's probably it was one of the outlandish, middle of nowhere towns in Russia, and I'm not going to step on any toes, but I'm not too sure. But anyway, so I saw that, and and I think we should do something similar. I think we should do maybe not lions, maybe.
I think you're an idiot.
Well, that may be, but I just see myself as a dreamer, as the celebrity version of Imagine goes. I may be just a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. Anyway, so that I think we should bring out some wild animals, maybe some wolves. Yeah, something with big teeth to scare people. Maybe get Joe Exotic to bring some of his lines.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to entertain the idea.
Well, anyway, and my other more serious thing is, I think the government should start enforcing the wearing of masks.
Well, here's the thing. If you look in the news from which in other countries, or they're all wearing masks.
Yeah.
Everyone's wearing masks. Britain, not everyone wears masks.
Yeah.
At least not up here in Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
In places that, even though they probably should, and the big popular areas, they might be, they probably are.
Mm-hmm.
But the biggest issue is that Britain doesn't have enough masks to actually go around.
Yeah.
So even though we know that we want that, the fact is we can't do that because we don't have enough.
Mm-hmm. Either that or like something to cover face.
Well, yes, you should be doing that.
Mm.
If I go out, I'll try to put my scarf around my mouth.
But just like typical Scottish weather, it is sunny, so you would look like a complete and utter nutter wearing a scarf out in public because it's so flipping warm, which is just so typical of Scotland being so flipping warm. Yeah.
Is it though?
Okay. It's been warm for a while. Okay, it's like it's off and on. Usually, it's
don't get me out. Don't get me out. Don't get me wrong. The sun is out, and that's a very rare occasion.
Mm-hmm.
And it's certainly a thing to be joyful about in Scotland.
Right when lockdown's happening, but yeah.
usually it's still Scotland, so we have wind that comes by, which is still freezing cold.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how
Mm-hmm.
fair it's to say that Scotland's that hot.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we've certainly had hotter days.
Pity we're not able to enjoy it. But I believe that
If you have a back garden, you probably can.
um
You should be able to. You live in the country.
yeah, but I don't have my sheep, so but I think that once lockdown is finished, and obviously like everything's not gonna go instantly back to normal when lockdown's finished, because there is gonna be like cafes, restaurants, clubs and all that, they're gonna be closed off much later just to prevent people contacting one another and just starting the whole thing back again. I think people will go as soon as like it's finished. Like the government turns around and said there is in the tens of cases people having the virus, either that or they find a vaccine or something like that, then I think every single person is going to go out. I think the nurses will deserve they deserve a holiday. They deserve every nurse can
The NHS should get awards, is what you're saying.
yeah. I mean, of course, everyone's clapping. I mean, I'm clapping. Even though I live in the middle of nowhere, we're doing our bit. But yeah. I think everyone's going to go out. Everyone's going to go clubbing. I mean, the annoying thing is for me, and Gibson at the moment is we both had planned to go do a holiday with one another, and we were going to go to Mallorca. Now this was 2 years in the making, okay? Because last year we were meant to do one, and then it was last minute, and it got all higgledy-piggledy. But this year we definitely did it. We booked it. It was all organised, and it was amazing. We couldn't wait, and then this lockdown came, and then we were forced to cancel.
Well, yeah. As things go, I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So, but
it's better that it happened at that point and not once we left.
Yeah. It wasn't like whilst we're mid in Spain, all of a sudden there's a lockdown in Spain.
Yeah.
That would have been interesting. Oh. Anyway, so yeah. Lockdown, not that great.
Lockdown's horrible.
But keep active, keep doing stuff.
Oh,
keep
are we
on.
ending it? Okay.
Yeah. Keep on gaming and keep it up. Yeah. Right.
Do whatever you need to do to make sure morale is up. Wash your hands.
Wash your hands, okay?
Wash your hands.
If I see anyone not washing your hands, do the happy birthday.
Okay, wash your hands, guys.
Ignore the prick on the radio. I'm going to have to edit him out, okay? It's being a prick is the amount of editing I'm going to have to do and stuff, but ruining everything. Anyway, so it's the end of the podcast. Thank you very much for listening, and please subscribe.
Subscribe to Spinman.
Fuck off.